Hello and welcome to this video. My name's David Dawn and you're watching David's Videos. Now in this video it's going to be pretty relaxed. November's going to be hard in Germany and it's going to be hard in most of the UK, specifically England. So I thought let's have a chat about what you can do during November in 2020 whilst you're staying at home. So before we get started, I want to tell you about my YouTube channel quickly, just because maybe it might be that you like some of the content that I have. If not, at least you know about it. My channel is primarily there for people wanting to learn how to create their own websites or learn how to program. There's a lot of both somewhere in there, but ultimately it has something to do with web development. So if you are interested in web development, I have a whole bunch of videos for you that you can check out. If not, then I do have more football videos about Borussia Dortmund if you want to check them out as well. Otherwise, then feel free just to watch this video, because it is just talking about things to do, what I'm going to be doing, what you could be doing during November in 2020. So without further ado, let's get started. As we know already, it's been a pretty difficult year for a lot of people. I thought I'd take time out on this video to talk about some of the things which I've done over the past, let's say, 10 months, and possibly what things you may be doing, or I could suggest for you to think about doing if you haven't already done them. So on that note, we can really kind of nicely move into topic number one, which I'm going to talk about, is sitting at home and just using the internet to your just being able to profit from using the internet. I don't mean monetarily in the beginning, I just mean how you can profit through knowledge, gain knowledge, and possibly build a business if that's something you want to do. Otherwise, you can just be more knowledgeable about the world and about life or about specific topics just using the internet. Now, in 2009, I decided to use the internet to learn how to become a software developer. And with books and documents, websites, videos, and all sorts, I've managed to learn my profession and do very well at it. So I can tell you from personal history that it is super possible. This is topic number one, is trying to find something to learn that you can really dig your heels into over the next month and come out at the end of November with knowing that you are more intelligent about a specific topic or topics than before you went into that month. Because at least you know that you've learned something, and there are other topics that relate to why we are in this situation right now that you could learn if you feel that you want to. Or you could obviously look into the politics of why this is happening, of what is happening, to be able to educate friends, family, children, co-workers, or whatever about other ways that they should be thinking. I'm a firm believer in utilizing my time, and rather than sitting at home just playing on the PlayStation. I do play the PlayStation. I play like FIFA 20, FIFA 21 now that it's come out. I do spend a massive amount of time trying to find topics up here that I can actually better myself. Like, for example, the past couple of weeks, let's say 3-4 weeks, several weeks, I've been utilizing my time to create this studio, let's call it an office. I've already got my table, which I created when I had to really force myself to be working at home. But I've invested in chairs and tables that I can stand up and work, so I don't get a bad back and bad shoulders. And in the past weeks, I've invested in new lighting and in camera or not camera, but microphones and stuff. And also painted the wall to make it look a little bit nicer, and bought some LEDs and then the plants, just to give it that nicer feel, for one, for me sitting here, two, for it looking nice in the flat as well, and three, just to have it a little bit nicer background in all of my videos, so I can sit here and just chat. Point number two, which I want to talk about, is sometimes learning from other people or just listening to what they have to say is a real winner. You don't always necessarily agree with what they say, but the internet today allows you to listen to what other people have got to say. Now, if you listen to someone for 3-4 minutes and only like 15 seconds of that was actually of interest to you, or that you thought you learned something from, you had to watch the whole 4 minutes to find out which 15 seconds were worth watching. Now, if you watched the whole 4 minutes and everything was just complete rubbish and you didn't get anything from it, then you've wasted your time. Or have you? I would say you haven't wasted your time. You didn't get anything out of that time, but what you did do is you managed to confirm to yourself all of the things that were said in that topic, that video, that meeting, were of no interest to you. So you now know what things are of interest to you and what things are of importance to you, because things that are of interest to you and of importance are also not related with each other, because normally things that are important to you normally outside of your comfort zone, which you don't want to learn because they're hard. By getting outside of your comfort zone and listening to those 4 minutes, it can be, if you go into those 4 minutes with another mindset, it can be that you come out of it learning something. So what I'm trying to say is that the first time you watch that 4 minutes, it can be that you think that you got nothing out of it. But when you start analyzing what it is was said, like I said, it can be that you found all of the ways that you shouldn't do something, which gives you the knowledge of how to do something. And then you know, wait a minute, I was in the right direction now because this video told me the wrong direction. And now all you've got to do is try and find videos that continue on in the way that you want to go. That is using the internet once again, or using the podcast or whatever it is where people are talking about topics to enhance, to broaden your knowledge about specific topics. Third thing that you can do, you'll see a pattern here that everything that I really talk about has something to do with knowledge or education, or let's call it wisdom rather than calling it education, because education is going to school, college or university and something and actually getting a diploma at the end of it or a certificate at the end of it. Wisdom and just general knowledge is something that you can get from everywhere and anywhere, because wisdom comes from making mistakes and learning from other people's mistakes, and also learning from how other people have done stuff well. I love learning from my own mistakes. I do make lots of mistakes, but I don't tend to make the same mistake twice. I try to, if I do make the mistake, then I analyze what did I do wrong and then try not to do it again. And once again, going back to this 4-minute task, is looking at a topic and thinking, I didn't get anything out of this, this is not interesting, is that even if you master the things that you didn't find interesting, that will make you more wiser for other topics that you could learn, because you've broadened your knowledge. Being single-minded and saying, I know everything and I don't need to learn anything else because this is all I care about. You can do this, but isn't it better? I always try and say with programming that there's people who are an I, as in if we didn't have an I with straight, just like a straight down line. And then there are people with a T, or it's actually an upside down T. But the people with a T have a good foundation, but they specialize in one thing. So it means they have a general knowledge about lots of stuff, but they specialize in one thing. Now, there are other people who are absolute specialists in one thing, but they don't have a general knowledge about other things. Means that they're not flexible to go left or right or to communicate with other people because their general knowledge about other topics is minimal. Someone who has got general knowledge here, it can be that these topics here, one's higher than the other. So if you did need to drop out of this topic, you can drop into other topics where you didn't specialize in it, you haven't mastered it, but you've got so much general knowledge about it that you could, over time, become a specialist in that one field. So this is also a key thing to think about, is which areas of knowledge are you good at, and which ones could you enhance. This is the foundation of staying at home, because if you've got to stay at home, the only few things that you have are books, radio, internet, a library if it's still open, and you can go and buy more media. And so you are going to be doing either a lot of watching, reading, listening, or nothing. Let's say that you want to have a new hobby of walking or losing weight or being healthier. You can start here with learning how far you should walk per day, what is a healthy amount, or what is a healthy distance that you should walk per day, what speed should you walk in order to have a healthy heart rate that allows for burning of energy or losing weight or better circulation. So there are other things that you can learn here because you have the time. If you're staying at home, you really have the time to invest it into learning something. And if you're listening to this video, you've also spent time listening to other people, i.e. me, talking about stuff. You have a month minimum now at home where you've got the freedom to read and learn topics, which I think is priceless, that someone gives you the time to stay at home to do this. So if you don't want to utilize that time, then that's really super your choice. I would always utilize my time, and I am all the time. I mean, I've lost a lot of weight over the past 6-7 months, and I've also got a lot stronger. I've done a lot of fitness, and I've gained a lot of muscle as well. I want to gain even more muscle. I've also managed to sort out a lot of problems with my shoulders and my neck, although it still needs to be better. I've managed to really find ways in 2020 to come out of this year better than I did coming into it. Now that's really quite difficult actually, to come out of 2020 better, because my year started pretty fantastic. Just because you earn money or have a job or something doesn't mean to say that you can't do better. It can be having a different job and living in a different place and speaking with different people gives you a better quality of life, and the better quality of life helps you sleep better and be more happy and so on, and that could lead you to new things that you didn't see because in the other life you were possibly depressed, or you were sad, or you were angry, or any of the negativity that you didn't see the other way that you could go. So try and think about 2020 being this door opener for other stuff. Or just sit on the sofa and play PlayStation and watch Netflix is also super possible. I'm guessing that if you're watching me listen to this, I'm a person where if you're saying it's easier said than done, no, it isn't. It is possible to do it, and the only way that you can do it is by doing it. So saying it is the first step. And reading it is literally an hour by hour thing. And in order to get to an hour, minutes, seconds, and so on. So just sitting down and saying for the next 15 minutes, I'm going to read something, or I'm going to research something and find the first topic that you're going to learn. And then going, you know what, I'll do another 15 minutes and continue on. And then tomorrow I'm going to learn this. And before you know it, you've got a notebook where you write stuff down. Now I do have notebooks that I write stuff down. So over this month, my opinion, my advice to you is get out, get some fresh air, do some exercise, play a PlayStation if you've got it for just doing something else. Watch Netflix or Sky or Amazon Prime or whatever it is, the streaming thing that you're going to watch. Learn how to cook some food. Also learn how to cook more healthy food, shall we say. Also try and change your diet, because this is a great time to be healthier. Let's face it, in a time where we should be concentrating on the health system and our own health, and to avoid other people because of health reasons, this is a great time to really start thinking about these things. I've been learning parallel to all my technology stuff, also about the muscle system. Although I did have a lot of experience with that already, the experience that I didn't have was that learning, if you do exercise for the front of you, you have to do your back as well to make sure you get this equality in the muscles. So one side isn't stronger than the other, because if it is, then you're getting pain on the other side. So this is me rambled on for some time. If you have got something out of it, then at least I would say try to be wiser by the time December comes 2020. And if this continues on, you haven't lost anything. You have learned something and you haven't lost anything. So I hope if I've inspired you, that's awesome. If I've given you a little bit of insight to what you could do. If you do have any questions about how I do it, all of this stuff I've said, I do, and I do actively every single day. And this isn't something that I've tried to over exaggerate. I've tried to under exaggerate it. So it sounds super doable, because otherwise, if I say, oh, you gotta get up and do this, you'll think I can't do that. Literally find a 15-minute slot in your day and try and learn something, and then try and find another 15-minute slot after that and try and do it again, and have a think about what food you want to eat, and go for a walk, and stop drinking so much crappy sugar water. You'll feel a lot healthier. Your skin will change. I'm not a nutritionist, so I wouldn't know about these things, but one thing I do know is if you pump a whole bunch of sugar in your body, or chemicals in your body that were not supposed to be there, it's not going to like it, or it's going to take a little bit longer for it to filter out those sugars. Thank you very much for watching. If you did like this video, think about giving it a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, but you watched all of it, give it a thumbs down. Feel free. Otherwise, be nice for you to write in the comments down below what you thought about this, and how you think, if you could do it, or could I talk about something else? Other than that, hit the subscribe button if you feel like you want to. If not, thanks very much. Stay safe, and hopefully see you in the next video. If there is a next video, then it will be on the screen right now. If you want to check out my channel, then there's a link in the description. Otherwise, ciao. Stay safe. Goodbye.